Hey my friends, everyday triathletes and fellow everyday cyclists, it's Graham Street, and welcome to my half Ironman training and nutrition blog. I've been trying to share with you my journey into triathlon, more importantly my training and tips and failures and successes on my lead up to my first half Ironman distance triathlon. I've kind of taken on a monster goal in a very short amount of time, along with a lot of extra things on top of me, including my third child, Kai, who's now a month old. I can't believe it, but already a month old. The hurricane, power out for 8 or 10 days. It's been trying. My nutrition has been a little bit off, I'm not going to lie to you, for the past several weeks. Maybe you can relate to that. When stress gets high, my nutrition, I would love to say is a priority, but it typically gets like not just the back seat, but like way off the back. Subsequently, I have not put on weight, but I haven't dropped the additional 3 to 5 to really 8 pounds I need to drop to run a successful half marathon within the half Ironman. You know, when you're a heavier set guy like me, every pound counts. I'm not as concerned about the pounds for the bike. My power, my strength, my fitness will accommodate for that. However, when it comes to the run, you know, at 170 some odd pounds, it's a lot of impact. So ideally, over the next 3 weeks for my final lead up, I'm going to try to lean out a little bit. Objective is to drop about 3 to 5 healthy pounds if possible. There's some things I need to do to accomplish that. I'm going to share with them a couple of those things with you today. All of these secrets and this information comes from my CycloFuel nutrition plan, which I know thousands of you already have and use with great success. Fat loss, maintenance, performance menu plans, grocery lists, cookbook, everything that you need to really dial in your nutrition. We'll talk about that here in a minute. First of all, during the next 3 weeks, as always, hydration is key. I'm probably actually going to increase my hydration intake, my water intake during the day. I am never without a water bottle. I don't know how many water bottles I have stashed around the house, but it's a lot. I have one with me at all times. This one is, what, 30 ounces or whatever, yeah, 34 ounces. I'll finish at least 4 or 5 of these today. Today, by the way, is a what I call a mini triathlon day, so I'm basically doing my own triathlon in my training today. I'm doing a swim, a bike, and a run. So when you hear 4 or 5 of these in a day, that includes in-ride or in-training hydration. That's important to keep note. The objective is to constantly circulate the fluids through my body. Yes, it's a little bit excessive, but having been a bodybuilder before, one of the quicker ways to begin to kind of lean your body out is to increase your fluid intake. Just don't go nuts with it. Don't sit there and be pounding, gallon bottles of water. Secondly, what I need to be doing the last several weeks, and again, this goes for all time, but definitely have to kind of razor sharp that thing towards the end, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm playing catch up right now, is increase your antioxidant load. We want foods that are coming in that are as natural and healthy as possible, that have a very high nutrient density, in particular things that have a very high antioxidant density, such as blueberries. Why? Well, the last 3 weeks, as you know, before any event, cycling, triathlon, half Ironman, Ironman, doesn't matter, you can imagine my training right now is pretty intense and the volume is high. For the last 2 weeks before I move into my taper, I'm expecting about a 7 or 8 day taper as I finish to get to the half Ironman. During that time, you want to make sure you keep your antioxidant load as high as you can, within reason, and optimally wanting to be getting those antioxidants from your foods as opposed to a vitamin. I know a lot of you take multivitamins, things like that. To let you know, I don't take a multivitamin very often. I don't like them, to be quite frank. They make me jittery. I'd rather get my antioxidants from food. They have a higher nutritional value. There's a lot more to antioxidants than just, your A's, your vitamin C, your vitamin E, your selenium, all those different things. There's other phytochemicals that we want to be getting from natural, healthy foods. I'm trying to squeeze in 2 to 3 servings of these per day in conjunction with my normal eating. Now, what I just did today and what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks, actually the next 3, is every 3 days I create my own in-house crudité, okay? This is a really important secret. You want to use raw vegetables. Now, I'm not a monster vegetable fan, but I do like vegetables. And during this period, I want to replace quite a bit of my starchier carbohydrates, potatoes, rices, pastas, which I really don't eat a lot of anyway, but subsequent to say I want to remove those things in lieu of replacing them with higher fiber, higher nutrient density foods such as raw vegetables. Not only am I going to replace those calories, I'm also going to add in what's called a thermogenic effect. So for me to eat a third of this per day, which is my goal, by the way, so I've got diced up cucumbers, green peppers, red peppers really high in vitamin C, other antioxidants that we need, something to chew on with the celery, a little bit saltier coming in. I'll have that with a light dressing. My objective is to eat 1/3 of this, and that's quite a bit of vegetables, as you can see, per day. And what that's doing is not only adding calories in with very high nutrient density, but more importantly, it's creating a metabolic effect, a thermogenic effect. It's causing my body to work hard to break all this down. When you have cellulose involved here, we don't have an enzyme to break that cellulose down, and as a result, our body has to pull and tug and fight, and that causes our body to heat up. Now, if you're trying to lean out, guess what? You want to be really hot on the inside. You want your internal mechanism constantly turning, so you'll be wasting calories, wasting energy. And the reason why you want to do that, why? We want to burn fat, right? We want that excess body fat coming off. Now we're trying to do that without sacrificing too much muscle tissue, which is the trick here. We want to increase our metabolic rate. We want to get our engines flying. We want to keep our intensity and our volume high for our peaking weeks. But we want to make sure that we replace the amino acids coming in. This is just one example of how to do that. This is muscle milk from Cytosport. I've been using muscle milk on and off for years now. There's many other protein powders or different combinations on the market. What I like about muscle milk is that it has a good fat profile in here. I know a lot of you tend to avoid fat. You really shouldn't, especially when your training intensity gets high. You want good healthy fats, omega-3s, omega-6s, omega-9s coming in because those help to balance out your hormones, testosterone in particular. You want those hormones balanced and high. If they begin to drop off during your peaking weeks, you won't recover as fast. You won't feel very good. You will not only not lose body fat, but you'll probably begin to lose a lot of that lean body tissue that you've accumulated with your high intensity training. Now, we want to keep that engine hot. And to do that, we want to sacrifice some body weight, but not a huge amount of lean body tissue. I've got a good amount of lean body tissue that I can spare. Having been a little bit more of a muscular guy, a little more bodybuilding centric over the past decade or so, I've got some stuff that I can sacrifice. Some of us may not. Women in particular, you want to be careful to not sacrifice too much of your lean body mass. So if you're going into your final weeks and you're playing catch up, and I know many of us do that. It's okay to admit it, okay? I do this for a living and I'm playing catch up right now. And you're trying to starve yourself and keep intensity and volume high, like the pros, like this is your job, you're going to run into some problems. You are. The reason why is that you have to balance out all the other things in your life too. Life stressors, work stressors, kids, going to soccer practice, waking up at 4 a.m., going to bed at 12:30 after doing, you're paying your bills or whatever. Those things have to be accommodated for as well. You can't just put yourself into this bubble where everything's perfect for you in regards to your nutrition. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna have a Snickers bar. You're gonna have a French fry. Those things are gonna happen. No big deal. All you're trying to do is put in front of you something hopefully that has ongoing value that you can be striving for, reaching for, setting micro goals with what you're eating and how you eat. If you're an individual that needs more structure with your nutrition, and I recommend that many of you do, at least to practice, to get in sync with how to do this. I don't need a menu plan in front of me anymore to do this. I've done this so many times, and I've drilled these different techniques from CycleFuel into my regimen with success, trial and error as well, that I can dial it in when I want. I know exactly what I need to do now. If you don't know what you need to do, I do recommend you get the CycleFuel package. You can download the whole thing for, what, $50? I used to sell it for $125, hard copy. You can now download the entire thing today, right now. There's 3 different phases of eating: fat loss, maintenance, and performance. Most of the time, you're going to be in the maintenance phase, which is really going to accumulate that good amount of lean body mass and see a drop off in body fat. As you hit your peak weeks, like I am right now, I'm actually eating more of the performance phase of the nutrition plan, which is a little bit higher in carbohydrates, and that allows me to actually, again, add in more of the vegetables, which is where I'm getting those extra carbohydrates coming in. I'm not doing it with, tons of rice and pasta and some of the stuff you hear about. For the everyday cyclist and triathlete, that's going to get you bloated and fat, to be quite frank. Not saying you can't eat those foods, But if you're trying to load those foods on an ongoing basis and you wonder why you feel sluggish and tired and hungry all the time, it's because you're having too many refined carbohydrates coming in. You want more natural sources coming in. My friends, I hope these tips are helpful. Download CycloFuel today if you don't have it already. I've got it for $75 off. This won't last much longer. I will be actually adding some new menu plans in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks in relation to triathlon, not just cycling. So cyclist, triathlete, beginner through pro, CycloFuel Nutrition has got tremendous value. I know that you'll get a lot out of it. I hope these tips are helpful. If you got any comments, leave them for me. I'll do my best to get back to you. I'm pretty inundated right now with customers, questions, and just simply dealing with my life, getting ready for this half Ironman. But things are going well. I'll let you know how the mini triathlon goes today for my training. Talk to you soon.